Welcome to Sunday Night Live. I've got to check here to make sure that we are actually live because there has been some issues with LinkedIn where it said that we were live when in fact we were not. Okay, I see the recording, so we are live. Let's just give it a moment. All righty, so welcome. Sunday Night Live, where we talk about all things automotive. And tonight, we're putting a little different twist on it. Tonight's episode is all about the customer experience. Because regardless of what product you're selling, it's the customer that you're selling to. And unless that experience is a stellar one, they're not coming back, or they're not bringing their friends. So it's very important that you engage them. And tonight I have the pleasure of having my lovely wife, Paulette Meijer, as my guest because she is a customer experience expert. What we're going to take you through in the next hour is going to be pretty amazing because she's overcome some pretty good challenges. So let's start with the intro video that's on her website.
Welcome to Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl, mobile yarn shop, party bus, and online gathering place for fiber enthusiasts. Our hashtag Yarn to the People describes us perfectly. Whether you book the bus for a shopping day with friends, meet us at a fiber festival, join us at a retreat, or shop at our online store, you'll find a wide variety of yarns and accessories from well-known and trusted brands to up-and-coming indie dyers. We keep you up to date on social media and with our Facebook Live show every Monday where we feature trunk shows, tips and techniques, and host special guests. Plan to have an exceptional customer service experience at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. In person or online, from purchase to project, shop with confidence knowing we're just a call, text, or video call away should you need help. A special thanks to our Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl fans across the U.S., in Canada, the Netherlands, and Australia. We appreciate you. And to all of you, we know you have choices, and we're glad you're here at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl.
So, some of you may know Paulette because we are friends offline as well as online. She's been nicknamed by some or hashtag Mrs. Spielberg. So without any further ado, Paulette Meijer, why don't you introduce yourself and tell the viewers a little bit about you?
Thanks, Paul, and thanks so much for having me on your show tonight. It's quite an honor to be here. Usually I'm the person in front of the camera on Monday nights, and you are taking the back seat there, driving the bus, so I should say steering the bus for me while I entertain my fans. And it's nice to be here with your group of people. How did I get started in my background? Well, I actually come from a career in the real estate field by way of an educator. I started in real estate back in 1984 and I was really fortunate to work some really great companies, and my career spanned from starting as a sales agent to working in leadership, and those leadership roles brought me to training and education in the real estate industry. So I was very fortunate to work for one company for a combined 12 years and head up the education programs and initiatives for them. So that was really a great experience. And all those years in education and speaking really did help me when it came time to spin on a dime here in the Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl business. So how did I get started with my yarn shop? Well, I grew up in a family of peddlers, as a matter of fact. Some really special people. My grandparents, my maternal grandmother and grandfather owned a grocery store and a very thriving business during the Depression. They were very much appreciated as much as they were in business, and they were appreciated because of the service that they provided to the neighboring communities. And my grandfather would actually take buses and trucks and convert them into grocery stores on wheels. And as time went on, he started off with trucks, and then he took school buses, and he converted those school buses into grocery stores. And at one point, there were 6 functioning buses as well as the grocery store. So my grandfather had, there were 4 sons and 2 daughters. And so there were 6 buses that were working at one time. And it was really very, very interesting how they ran that business. And I actually had one of my uncles was learning disabled, and he had his own truck and his own route that he would go to. And really very, very proud to be a part of that family and how they grew their business. And I learned a lot of lessons from them, took those lessons with me in life, and especially in the training that I did in the real estate industry, as well as what I'm doing now. It's really all about customer service and creating that exceptional experience for the customers. So when I decided to retire from the real estate business, I knew my vision. I knew that I wanted to take that yarn shop that I had in my mind, but I didn't want brick and mortar. And I had planned for my retirement from the corporate world, and I knew what I was going to do. The only person who needed convincing was Paul. And took a couple of years to convince him that he's like, you want to do what? From where? Sell yarn is bad enough. There's not enough people in this world who knit, but you're going to do it on a bus, and how is that going to work? So it was really hard for me to help him to see what I wanted to do. But eventually he got on board. And
You know what it was?
What was it?
So Paulette says
I
to
was
me,
at Vogue Knitting Live.
so Paulette says to me, hey, I'm going to Vogue Knitting Live with the girls for the weekend. Like, what's that? Oh, it's a knitting convention. I swear, I almost wet my pants. I was laughing so hard. I really didn't take it seriously. I didn't think people would actually go away and spend a weekend in New York City to go to a knitting convention. But I remember getting the FaceTime, and she was on the convention floor, panning the camera around and showing me the tens of thousands of people at this event. It was at that point that I said, holy shit, there might be something to this. So at that point, I saw it a little bit differently. But that was kind of when my buy-in came.
Yeah, and Paul, when he buys in, he buys all in. And so then it wasn't so much we're going to do this, but how fast can we get it going? And so we got I got the bus, and we went. That was an interesting thing, shopping for a bus and then learning how to drive it. Like any new business, it grew slowly, very slowly. And it grew through word of mouth and face-to-face contacts and good customer service along the way. So it's, one of the things that we know today with social media is it's really easy to make mistakes when you're new. And with social media, people know about them right away. And more people will know about the mistakes you make than those you don't. So you really need to give them something good to talk about, or they will find something bad to talk about. And I learned a long time in business that that no feedback is as bad as bad feedback. So what you really want to do is create good feedback. And the only way to do that is by providing excellent service. So I did that. And by the beginning of 2020, because this was my 3rd year into the business, by the beginning of 2020, I had 1,460 followers on Facebook. Now that number is important because on March 15th, COVID-19 struck. Struck meaning I had a 2-day retreat that was scheduled. It ended on March 15th. We had 5 people back out because of COVID. and 22 were with us. At that time, I was hanging on, knowing that I had another event scheduled for later in March, hoping that event was still going to take place. I had my inventory all set. You buy extra inventory.
Geared up for it.
What?
We geared up for it.
We absolutely geared up for it. And so I had my inventory already. I had my show. I had everything, trunk shows, everything ready to go. I got back from the retreat and I got the message that Stitches or the event had been canceled. So now I've got a shop full of inventory that's supposed to be on a convention floor with thousands and thousands of people coming. And I go from 0 to 0 in 3 seconds flat. And so what do? And of course I did a lot of crying and just I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I got all this stuff and I don't have anybody to talk to and I don't have anybody to show it to. And so Paul said, wait a minute, you are the yarn to the people person. Your motto, your hashtag is yarn to the people. You've got to bring yarn to the people. But how? I said, we're going to do it. We are going to make it work. So from March 15th to March 26th, we jumped into high gear. Oh, and by the way, on March 15th, my Facebook following was 1,567 people. I was always working to catch up to the local yarn shops in town or in the area because I saw that as my main competition. Though I had a little bit of online business here and there, I didn't have a lot of it. And so I was still focused on who's my competition. I need to look at the local yarn shops and how can I compete with them. So on March 15th, I had 1,567 fans. And Paul, you want to tell them what we did from March 15th?
All right, so now you have to put this into perspective, okay? Her model of yarn to the people, I'm sure you guys are familiar with painting parties, where you go to a restaurant or a bar and you get together with friends, you pay a fee and you paint pictures. So hers was kind of like a painting party, but for knitters. So the bus was fully equipped to go out on the road. They would hire her or hashtag book the bus, and she would show up at their house or at a restaurant, and she would have events. People would get together with their friends and have knitting parties. There really is such a thing. I'm a believer, a firm believer. Because that's what her model was. She did not want to be the online yarn lady.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No, you won't catch me selling yarn online. Not going to happen.
Fought it tooth and nail. But now come COVID and the world puts the brakes on. So now we've got to spin on a dime. So when she said we had all this yarn in our store, well, let me show you what our store looked like when COVID hit. This is what it looked like. Not much of a store, is it? But we had to flip on a dime. We had to all of a sudden.
We don't have brick and mortar, so this store is where? It's in our basement. It's not a store.
It's a studio that we film our
It's a studio now. Exactly. We created a pretend store. Sorry, go ahead.
So I said to Paulette, we've got to take the yarn to the people. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do a killer marathon. We're going to do 4 days of live shows every 3 hours?
Yeah, we did every 3 hours, 9, 12, 3, and 6 for 4 days.
We did 16 live shows back to back, okay? But what those 16 shows did is it blew her up online. People were tuning in from all over the place. We even had one of the designers who lives in Istanbul, Turkey, tune into her show. We've since become very good friends with him. people from all over, people from Scotland were tuning in. So we blew it up online, and then the orders started coming in. But it's not just that the orders started coming in, it's the whole thing about customer service.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
When COVID hit, just about everybody in our business shut down. And for months, they did nothing. When some stores did finally reopen, they opened very limited. They opened for 2, 3, 4 hours a day, maybe 3 days a week. That's it. Oh, hold on, we got a bunch of comments here. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody.
Oh, I was wondering if anybody was even watching.
So Mark Williamson says, "What's up, everyone?" I responded back, "Hey, Mark." Ron Usher said, "Hi, Paul, and your boss."
No, I don't know about that. Nobody's the boss of Paul.
And our friend Kenneth from Sugarland, Texas says, "You both are such beautiful gems of human beings and friends of mine, and to millions who share your goodness and others for the betterment of humankind." Paulette is such a gem. She's detail oriented. I love this. And then I lose track of the number of hand clapping emojis. He says, "Paulette, I see that Paul is good for something."
He's good for a lot of things.
David Munford, hi guys. Hey David. Scott Moore says, "You guys are great." Well, thank you very much, Scott. And Kenneth says, "Holy shit, that's a lot of shows." Yeah, with 16 shows back to back, blew us up online. And like I said, when some of the stores started coming back, they were very limited hours, 3, 4 hours a day. But here's the beauty of the internet, okay? I learned a long time ago, if you're on the internet, you're always open. I used to laugh when people would call stores and say, "Are you open?" "No, we're closed." So we decided, we have a very strict mantra when it comes to customer service, in that if we're awake, we'll answer the call, okay? There's many a Sunday night at 9 o'clock that Paulette's phone will ring, and it'll be a customer. Now, most people wouldn't answer the call, but guess what? Paulette's helping a customer with a project that she's working on. Maybe she's having trouble with a pattern. The next thing you know, 30 minutes later, the little cash register noise from the phone goes off because people are buying stuff. So at any given time, if somebody has a question, they need help on a pattern, they have questions on product, Paulette answers the phone and she guides them through. Tell us about some of the people that want to shop in your store.
Well, we're talking about customer service experience. I know that if I don't answer that call, there's a strong possibility they're going to go someplace else. And it's no matter what business you're in, if you don't let people know that you are in business, they will forget about you. If in real estate, if you don't keep prospecting, people think you went out of business. And I'm sure that's the same in your business too. And I may sell yarn, but I service the customer. And that's the one thing that I have to remember at all times. It is not, yarn is the product, but the people are the people, and they are the ones who I need to take care of. So there was one customer who sent me an email. It was a Sunday morning, actually, who you wake up to an email and it says, "I can't believe this, that you sent me this beautiful yarn and this awful pattern. I've never seen anything so terrible in my life. I will never buy anything from you again. You are an awful yarn shop. I spent a lot of money for a good yarn and a terrible pattern." Hold on a second, guys. I don't write patterns. I put kits together. So I find patterns.
Hold on, let me just jump in here. Most people would have ended it at that and would have said to the customer, "Hey, I didn't write the pattern. Too bad, so sad," right? But not you.
No. So I responded to the customer, "I'm sorry you're having a bad experience. Please understand that this pattern is not written by me. It's written by so-and-so," because she had the pattern in her hand so she could see who wrote it. I said, "And there are over 3,000 projects that have been created with this pattern. So please allow me to help you to better understand what the designer is asking you to do." And then she became even more adamant in her response, that she's been knitting for years and years, and She understands, she knows how to read a pattern. And again, I did not let it go. So what I did was I took screenshots of the pattern, circled, highlighted, marked it up, and sent it back to her with detailed explanations of everything, of every image that was there. She emailed me back weeks later with a picture of the finished project with praise and gratitude for how I handled her during her dilemma, or whatever you want to call it. And it was just, I mean, she may have never, ever finished that project, but I was sure I was going to do everything I possibly could to help her, because even if she didn't like it when it was done, she knew that she got the best service along the way. And since that time, she has ordered 4 more of the exact same project in different colors. So you get a customer, that's one thing. You keep a customer, that's something else. And I know that I'm going to keep that customer for a long time. And the next time I spoke with her, I walked her through my store on a FaceTime call. She walked through the studio with me on a FaceTime call, helping her find different things for her next project. That's customer service. That's not yarn sales.
Now, how you tie that into the car business is I sold cars on the internet, a lot of cars on the internet. I shipped cars across the country. I shipped cars overseas, and it was the same type of thing. I would take orders on the steering wheel. I had a clipboard on the passenger seat ready to go. I would take credit card numbers while I'm driving on the steering wheel. The lead would come in at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd hear a little ding. I would have my pre-made responses ready to go. If it was 2 o'clock in the morning, I didn't care. I'm blessed with good sleep habits. I sleep through anything. So I would wake up, I'd see the lead come in, I'd put the customer's name in, a couple of identifying information pieces in there, and I would hit respond, send. I'd get an email back from the customer. You guys are open? It's the internet, man. We're always open. So always there ready to service the customer, because if you're not there, somebody else might be. And in another instance of customer service, I had a store I was calling on, and we hadn't done business yet. But as part of my normal research, I take a look at several things on their website, and I found a bug on her website. I made her aware of it. She could not experience that bug. So I figured, okay, I need to show her exactly what's happening. So at the time I traveled with 2 phones. I've got a little tripod. I mean, when you're a road warrior, you travel with your office. You've got printing, faxing capabilities, all in the car ready to go. So I had my phone open. I had the other phone set up on a tripod, and I went through what the problem was right on video, and I sent her that video. She took that video. Now she was able to see what was wrong with her website. She forwarded to the IT person that handled her website, and that problem was fixed. So that the next time I called on that store, I think we met for maybe 20, 30 minutes, and she signed up for the program. Because at that point, because of the customer service, the trust had already been earned. I didn't have to do that. But you know what? It helped her. Let's see, we got a couple of comments coming in here. All right, we left off with Kenneth Dunner Jr. Holy shit, that's a lot of shows. Multiple exclamation points. Ron Usher says, good fast service makes happy customers. Absolutely, it is way ahead of whatever is in second place. Now, it's not showing me the name of this person. Let me see. It's Christine Pittman. Says, I appreciate these broadcasts. Thank you, Christine. And I appreciate you. And I love your post. You were like the female Ron Usher with your post. You post some killer content there. Russ Mann says she agrees. You sleep through anything. This is a culture mindset of customer experience first. Great stuff. And let's see here. Christine says it's all about relationships. Absolutely. So things that are in our yarn business, or Paulette's yarn business, are
Thank you.
very applicable to what's in the car business, because we had to pivot, right? So I showed you before, let's see here. So when COVID hit, we were looking like this. Before the end, within the next few months, this turned into this. And this turned into that, because that's the film studio where we shoot all our videos. And my pride and joy, my latest baby. On the left is what it used to look like. On the right is what it looks like now. And I even matched it to the staircase going upstairs, so it looked like it came with the house originally. So we pivoted on a dime. And like I said, Paulette did not want to be the online yarn lady. She excels in person. If you meet this woman, you're done. At least I was when I met her. But she's very good at what she does in person, right? So now we had to pivot real quickly. She had to become the online person. So we go from the bus, which I was a little concerned about at first. I thought I was going to be getting phone calls from parking lots that she couldn't pull the bus back out of, but let me tell you, this lady drives that bus like Ralph Cramden. So we switched. Now we do something called Click and Knit. Tell us about Click and Knit.
Okay, so if there's one thing I know, yes, I can speak, but I'm a trainer. So I thought, well, if I can't meet people face to face to teach them how to knit, I'll teach them online. What the heck? So I started doing, and it's not as easy as you think, because you're working opposite someone and trying to teach them. It's like teaching them in a mirror. So getting that whole reverse thing right took a little bit of trial and error. But so I do what's called Click and Knit classes, where we focus on just one stitch. We do 30-minute classes, three sessions, and we're done. So that was working pretty well, and people kept saying, and when they would come on the show, that they wanted to learn how to knit socks. Knitted socks are a big thing. So I decided to do another class, and it was going to be a Zoom class. So it's called Zoom, and just like that, you're knitting socks. So we do Zoom class sock knitting. And so that's also working. And then I had a really great experience. And this is where you get to give back, and nothing feels better than giving back. And I've worked with an organization called Sunshine Kids that sponsors trips for kids with cancer. All kids, no families, just kids and nurse chaperones. They go all over the country. They go surfing in Hawaii. They go on a mountain into the hill country of Texas on motorcycles. They ski in Utah. So they're used to going on these great trips. Well, when COVID stopped everything for us, COVID stopped everything for them too. So I was contacted by Sunshine Kids, by their regional director here in Connecticut, asking me if I would do Click and Knit classes for kids with cancer. And so I do that as well. And, you can teach 4 16-year-olds or 4 13 to 18-year-olds to knit in 3 sessions. You're doing pretty good with that. So I'm confident that if those kids can create something in 3 sessions, so can anybody else. So we do those classes as well. So we're expanding what we do. And I always say we, because I may be a sole proprietor, but I feel like a big company sometimes, even though I know that I'm a really tiny, and I need, I have to keep growing, but I have to keep letting people know why they want to do business with me. And so as long as I can keep providing all those great services for them, I will keep them coming back. So was there another question? So Twisted Stitches is the show that I do each week. That's on Monday nights. And then I've started doing Vogue Knitting Live has they do a virtual Vogue Knitting Live now every month where I can actually get another 4 days in. So I thought, oh my gosh, now I'm going to do Monday plus 4 days during that month, another one. Somehow it seems to work. And with that, the audience keeps growing. And and yes, the sales keep growing too, but they only grow because number one, I'm there. Number two, I take care of them.
And I'm going to show you the trailer for the show. So we play that before the show every time. The people that tune in every week, if we could have 4 shows and we have some of the same people tune in all 4 shows and they bring their friends, it's really quite remarkable. Now hold on, so we got a couple of comments coming in here. Let's see, difficult clients served well usually go on to be your biggest source of repeat business. Absolutely. Oops, I missed a few actually. Let's see here. Michael Landis said, sorry I'm late. Hey, Mike, better late than never, I always say. And Sean Banks says, nice. Sean is my friend from Long Island. And let's see here. Ron Usher says, awesome work on the house, guys. Thank you very much. I've got the scars to prove it. You know, it's a good thing we live next to young neighbors, because at no time when that compressor was going off at 11:30 at night, or the nail gun, did I ever so much as get a complaint from anybody that we were making too much noise. Let's see here. For some reason, Christine comes in as LinkedIn user on the computer, but Christine on the phone. So Christine says, 14 years in estate and elderly law has taught me this time and time again. Yep. And Jean Girdley says, yep, you're both stars. I don't know about that, Jean.
Well, you know, too, I'm sorry, go ahead. You want to read more comments? I just wanted to.
Russ Mann says, that is awesome how you have adapted your charity work.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Sunshinekids.org. If you go there, you'll find out a little bit more about the organization. It is very, very worthwhile. We highly recommend getting involved in any way that you can. It's just an awesome, awesome group. Let's see here. Ron Usher says, thank you for your cancer help, Paulette. Smiling emojis. Jean Girdley has the clapping hands emoji. You know, and talk about customer service. The Sunshine Kids had, one of their fundraisers was a fishing trip. And I haven't fished since I was a little kid. And they had asked me to come on board on this fishing trip and kind of put together a production for them, which I was happy to do. I had another deadline for another client, some video content that I had to put up online for them. And wouldn't you know it, just when you don't need that stuff to tweak, the program was tweaking. It was pretty bad. And Paulette said, why don't you just let it go, wake up in the morning early, and then do it, and then go off to your fishing trip. I'm like, no, I can't. I promised them I would get the content up in time. I'm not going to sleep until I get it done. And one way, shape, or form, I will get it done, and I will be at my fundraiser event. So I think I worked until about 4 in the morning. I got the content created. I was able to post it for the client. Everybody was happy. 6 o'clock in the morning, I have to get up to get onto the boat. Oh, thank you, Scott. Scott posted the link for sunshinekids.org. Oh, that's awesome.
Sweet.
Yep, I just put it on here. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. So I got 2 hours worth of sleep. I loaded all my camera equipment in my bag, 6 o'clock, out the door. I was at the boat on time. I was able to capture all the content, put a nice production together, which was then used for promotional purposes. So it's all about customer service. It's about flipping on a dime to change, to adapt to what the customer needs. There's a reason the word customer is the first word in customer service, because it doesn't matter what we think. It only matters what they think. I remember so many times I would have account managers look at these reports and they would be all giddy and all excited and wow, look at this report. This looks great. I said, you know what? It may look good to you and I don't care about that. I just want to make sure the customer is happy and that they feel it looks good. Because unless they feel it looks good, none of it really matters. And most of the time they did, but there were times where it was the exact opposite of what the account manager thought it was. But in going through, spending the time, making sure they're happy, servicing the customer, you can make sure that if there's any misunderstandings, those misunderstandings get taken care of. So with Paulette, she talked to you about a woman who was very upset, who then turned around to now be one of her big fans, who's bought 4 kits of the difficult one that she hated when she sent that email off. And when customers call in, because our studio is not a storefront per se where people come and shop, it's just for, promoting our goods online is what it is. But she tells people all the time, if you need help, you can text me, we can do a video call, we can do FaceTime, and she's had plenty of people that she's walked through the store. How about tell them about the lady that was into handbags.
She this was she ordered a little pouch. I'm looking to see if I have one here. She ordered this little pouch. All right, I gotta show you this because it was so funny. So she orders this thing that's it's a little zipper bag. It's like about that big. So I called. She didn't specify. She specified one color or one print, and I was out of that print. So I'm thinking, oh geez, okay, I'm gonna lose the sale. It's but what are you gonna do if you don't have the product, you don't have the product. My inventory sometimes gets a little messed up, and you can't keep track of everything. So anyway, so I call her. And I explained to her that I called
right away.
Yes, she had a phone number. Not everybody leaves you their phone number, but if they leave me a phone number and there's an issue, I will call them. And so I called her and I said, I'm sorry, the print that you ordered is not available, but I can offer you this other one. And she said, well, I'm not really sure. I said to her, look, do you have an iPhone? Can I FaceTime with you? She said, sure. So I get on the phone with her and I show her this other print, the one that was available. And she said to me, I collect bags. I said, yeah, well, then you've got to see the series of bags that this is part of. And I just I explained to her what the fiber on the bag is. It's all washable and it's zippered and blah, blah, blah. And we have everything from a little cosmetic bag up to a tote bag. And so I laid them out on the floor for her so that she could see the whole set. She said, I'll take it. Thinking she would order maybe one or order another time. Oh, no. She ordered everyone in the entire set. And then she ordered yarn to put in that bag, in those bags. So it's just take time with them. That's all. If you help them to see what you have, they will decide whether or not they want it. But if they don't know what you have, they'll never know if they want it. I used to say to Paul all the time, I can't sell what I can't see. And I also can't sell what they can't see. So if I don't know how I can help them, they don't know. At any given time on any show, they see a small part of this shop, of the studio. That's why we walk around the whole studio. And people ask, oh, can you, wait, back up. Can you show me that? I want to see this. Oh, what was that big, what is that bulky thing behind you? I want to see that one. So people are now talking to us on the show instead of me having to talk all the time to them.
They are an integral part of the show. They feel so much part of the show that, you know, as we're going through, I'm the camera guy. I'm the executive producer of Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl Productions. And so we're going through, we're going through the show, and people stop us and, hey, hold on a second. Can I see that piece again? Can I see this again? Can I see that again? We go to that part. She talks about it. Next thing you hear, that ka-ching, ka-ching. The phone makes a particular noise when a sale comes through, and every time it happens, we look at each other like that, and like, what'd you sell? What'd you sell? And then she logs in.
We're still surprised when something happens. You know, it's like you work so hard for something to happen, and then you're surprised when it does, and it makes you feel so good that people appreciate what you have and what you do. I just love it, and I will continue to keep working with them and to grow the show. So on March 15th, my followers were 1,560. As of yesterday, where are we? What did I say? 2,261. It's a 44% increase from March 15th to August 20th. That's amazing. I didn't, and they're from all over the world.
All over.
That is what amazes me even more. Why? Because I keep letting them know I'm there, and I keep asking them, no, Paul's the one, share it with all your friends, share it with all the people, let everybody know what's going on. And so we do, and we keep working at it, and we keep growing it.
Now, how does that tie into the car business? Very simple, right? You get internet inquiries all the time. People aren't necessarily coming in. Yes, there are pictures. That's great. A picture tells 1,000 words. But guess what? A video tells 10,000 words. So when you get that lead, connect with them right away. Timing is critical. They say there's no loyalty in the car business anymore. That's not true. There's a weird loyalty in the car business. The loyalty in the car business is the loyalty to the guy or the gal that gets back to them right away, period. Because I would respond, as I told you, 2 o'clock in the morning, you guys are open? It's the internet, baby. We're always open. And later on the next day, they would start getting messages from some of the other stores. Oh no, I'm all set. I've got an appointment. I'm going to see Paul. So the lead comes in, you grab your phone, your iPhone, your whatever phone you have, and you go outside, you connect with that customer, and you do a virtual walk around. Just like Paulette walks people through the studio, and she sold that lady every bag that she had in the collection, your customers want to buy also, and they want to be made feel special. And who feels more special than you stop everything you're doing, you got your phone on the gimbal, or even if you're just hand holding it, you're gonna get a little shake, but nonetheless, that customer feels that they are number one to you because you've stopped everything you're doing to make sure that you show them. And if there's a little blemish on the car, look, there's a little scratch right there, but we could polish most of that out. You know, customer service. We got a bunch of comments here. Let me just make sure we don't get too far ahead. Robert Sebastian says, you guys are awesome inspiration. You remember Robert, the guitar guy?
I do. I remember him very well. I love that you play that guitar.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. And Steve Pisella says, Paul, I love your industry contributions. This is such an important and critical topic. A dealer or industry support provider can provide customer service, but it may not be great or relevant customer experience. Customer service and customer experience are not the same thing. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You got to bend over backwards to make sure those people feel that, and I think Jackie B. Cooper said it best, people in his Southern drawl. I remember the cassette tapes I had way back in the day. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And believe me, by the time Paulette is finished with somebody on the phone, guiding them through either their purchase or their difficulty with the pattern, they know how much she cares, and the orders just keep coming in. You know, it's really uncanny. Now, Robert Sebastian says, can I show you the series? Can I show you the series? What series? You want to show us the series, or you want us to show you the series? And Christine says, my comment was serving difficult clients well, then end up being your best source of repeat business. Yes, no, we got that. Yeah, it's awesome, because it's very easy to blow off a disgruntled customer, right? It's most businesses, it's always the customer's fault. Well, I'm not going to lie, sometimes it is the customer's fault, but it doesn't matter.
That's
Because
right.
if you bend over, not that way, backwards, to show them great customer service, they will always come back to you, and they will be your best customers. No question. Mark Williamson says, yarn chicks are intense. Who knew? Oh my God. Robert Sebastian says, offering alternative solutions is the right thing to do. Yeah, who knew? It wasn't until you had the conversation with that woman to find out that she's really into bags that you had the foresight to get her on the phone right away and show her all the bags, and she bought all.
It was, I was showing her an alternative to what she wanted. I wanted to sell, I wanted her to still buy. When she said, but I collect bags. I'm like, oh, really? Let me see what I have here for you. Yeah, I think I may have one or two. And so we have bags you can knit, but no, she doesn't want those. She wants to buy the bags and the accessories. So, you give them what I want. I'm not going to give you what you don't want. I once knew somebody who worked at a Harley Davidson dealership. He was a manager at a Harley Davidson dealership. And he said, I tell my people all the time, nobody walks in here because they need a Harley. You don't have to sell it to them. They're going to buy it, and just get out of their way and let them buy it. So if with what we have here, we need to show them, I think in your industry especially, a customer doesn't always know about what services their car needs. I mean, I know about yarn. I don't know about cars. When I need to get my car fixed, before I met Paul, I'd go to the guy down the street and ask him to fix my car, the service station down the street that did repairs. Well, I've learned since then that wasn't really such a smart idea, but it was working at the time because I didn't know any better. And so I think in the automotive industry, being someone who is not familiar with how my car works, if there's something wrong, and if you explain it to me in such a way that I feel like you are not trying to sell me parts and labor, then I will feel like, oh my gosh, these people are helping me with my car. Like, I may not need tires now, and that I don't need tires now. You're not going to try to sell me tires now, but you're going to let me know that I need tires. And maybe what you'll say is, can I put this on your customer service card, so that the next time we get in touch with you, we remind you about the tires. So it's it's that kind of thing that Paul and I talk a lot about how our industries are different but the same, because it's all about that service and how can we help each other. And me being a trainer, I'm always training. It's like we go into training mode no matter what I do. But I do. It's what I do. Sorry.
So you take that same principle, right? And Robert agreed, and I think Russ too. Timing. You have to be fast. You need to respond to them right away, or somebody else. It was Russ. Timing is everything in the car business. Spot on. Respond as soon as possible. Yes, you have to respond quickly, but you also have to respond accurately. And what better way than with video, right? When Paulette used to take her car in for service, she just kind of relied on them telling her stuff. But now you can take it so much further than that. You respond right away and bring the dealership to the customer. And you can do that by virtue of video with explainer videos. Explain, what does it mean when this light goes on? Explain, show a video, create a video of what is a 15,000 mile service and why is it important that you do it? Tires, right? Everybody needs tires at some point. So as customers, as you gain their trust and they come back to you for servicing, you do your inspection, your MPIs each time. And if the tires are good, share that with the customer that it's good. Show them how good they are. But don't just show them how good they are. Equate it to when your tires are this thick, your stopping distance is this far. When your tires are this thick, your stopping distance now increases by this much. When they are in need of replacement, adverse handling and or safety can be affected. And guess what? It now takes you this much longer to stop your car. Show them. I did a video where we were training in Albany, and there was a sign that showed tire wear and how long it takes to stop. So what I did is I recorded a video of my feet walking the number of steps that it took. I then stopped, turned around, showed the video from here to there. That is how much longer it's going to take your car to stop based on the condition of your tires. You think that sends a message to them that maybe they should do it? Maybe the question isn't, should I do it? Maybe the question becomes, how soon can they get done, right? Create the visual and use the available technology to do that. We got a few comments coming in here. All right, we were at the Yarn Chicks are intense. Who knew? Mark, that's brilliant, man. I will forever remember you for that comment. Robert Sebastian says, offering alternative solutions is the right thing to do. And, oh, I missed that one. I missed that one before because we already got to timing is everything in the car business. And my buddy Chris Reveron, remember Chris? We went to his restaurant in Westchester at the country club.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris says, call my friend, how are you? I'm doing great, Chris. I'm doing great. And I love seeing all your posts online. You put out some awesome.
Is the restaurant open again?
Yeah, are you guys open, Chris? And do you have patio dining? We're gonna have to make some plans if you do. And Robert Sebastian says, Paulette said, can I show you the collection when the print wasn't available? Awesome question. Christine says, educate. Christine says, educate, don't subjugate. Yes.
Very good.
It's all about education, right? People aren't stupid and they want to be treated with respect. And if you educate them and make them aware of their options, Robert, then they are going to pick the one that best suits them. Because they really do want to buy. They just need somebody to take charge and guide them through the process. It's really
Sorry.
No, what about?
No, I'm thinking like, what about if a service department did a series of videos on the different 30,000 mile, 50,000 mile, like the importance of and the value of, not just why do I have to have a 50,000 mile tune-up? I don't know what you call them, but whatever that incremental amount is, to do a series of videos on this is, and they don't have to be long. They can be 3 minutes, 2 minutes. It doesn't matter. But if you put those out there and then you send them out to your your customer database, you put them on Facebook, you boost them. I've never spent more than $10 to promote my business online. I'm sorry, I did it once, and I got no more business from it as a result of it, and no more fans.
And right now, we've got customers in 44 out of the 50 states. We got an order come in. We had an order come in from Alaska. We've shipped to the Netherlands.
And
Scotland.
What the heck?
Australia.
That's it. Australia. Yeah. So they're coming in, and I finally got my map. There it is, up there. And there are a few states that have not been touched yet, not many, but we will be targeting those states so that people know who we are and where we are and what we do and why they should do business with us. Because believe me, there are a lot of online opportunities to buy yarn today, but they don't give you the same service that we do. We
have customers that come to us that have their own local yarn shops that, what did I tell you about the customer service at the local yarn shops?
Oh, you mean customers who go to other yarn shops and then come to us and say, well, I've gone to so-and-so, and they don't usually tell me the company name because there are probably 5 or 6 different yarn shops in neighboring towns. And I've tried to shop at other yarn shops, and when I go in there, I just don't I feel like I'm bothering them because there's a bunch of ladies sitting at a table knitting, and they're more interested in knitting than they are in helping me to find yarn for my project. And one woman said, I might have bought yarn from them, but they didn't engage me. So I just looked around and I left. And they said, thanks for stopping in. And if I'm going to spend money to have a business, then I'm going to make sure that the customer knows that I appreciate them, because without them, I could just close my doors. And that's what a lot of companies did when COVID started. They closed their doors. They put signs up on their Facebook pages that said, closed due to COVID. We'll offer pickup if you want to come and pick up your yarn. The end.
Period.
Well, like those 1,400 fans that you have online are not all walking into your store, and they're not going to come and pick up yarn. They're afraid to leave their house, just like you are. So, I walked into the post office with my mask and gloves every day, sending yarn out to people. And now we get comments on our show that say, you too, because Paul has become a part of the show, and you two have provided such a great service. You brought smiles to people's faces during a time when they are feeling hard, when it's feeling hard to smile. And so it's not just about selling yarn, it's about giving people something to look forward to now on a Monday night. Who thought that was ever going to happen? Not me. And I'm so glad that it has.
And some of the shows are just addressing difficulties that people have. Some of the shows are just
non-selling
segment of, hey, you can drop a stitch. Here's what you do, or if you're trying to do this particular thing, this is what you do. Let me show you a few different ways around it. Rather than pull out the project, pull out the yarn, and start all over, here are some tips and tricks that you can use to salvage it, and only you and me will know. That's it. So, it is all about customer service, but customer service goes beyond just when you're interacting with them because they've come to you for something. You have an audience. You need to communicate with that audience on a regular basis, okay? We continually put out content. Whether or not somebody's asking for stuff, we put out content to serve them. And for instance, we do some local farmers markets, okay? So now I'll go pick up the bus, drive it to the farmers market. I'll go live on the way to the farmers market and let the audience know, her audience, know where we're going to be on a particular day. And you know what? people will get in their car, will drive an hour round trip
Still amazed.
because we let them know we were going to be at this particular farmer's market. Sure, they could buy it online, but part of the whole experience is to come to shop on the bus, you know, the in-person thing. So if you create a show.
What's that?
No,
No, that was an incoming text message.
Oh. We're hypersensitive to the dings that come on these days. But so communicate with your audience. If you're a car dealership, start your own weekly show and highlight different things that you can bring to your audience regularly so that they see that you're adding value. That's creating a customer experience. Now we got a few comments coming in here.
And be consistent. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't do 3. Go ahead. Sorry, Paul.
Robert Sebastian says, you mean you don't want to buy parts and labor? What do you want to buy? We want to buy the experience. That's what we want to buy. And Ron Usher says, customers trust again wins. Absolutely. And Steve Apicella says, technology, digital engagement, removes the long-standing pain points, supports awareness, transparency, increases efficiencies, and creates a platform where engagement is frictionless, allowing our trained team members to focus their energy on building the customer relationship. Technology supports the people, not replaces them. 1,000%
absolutely
spot on. Because we spend too much time in the car business doing all the things that we have to do. So why not, as Steve says, leverage the available technologies and focus on the one thing that generates business, and that's the customer service experience. Ron Usher says, good idea on the service, Paulette. Kenneth Dunner says, oh, where'd he go? I use kiosk machine to mail packages at the post office now. So convenient. Well, actually, tell us how you do it, Paulette.
How do I?
Get the machine, printer.
Oh yeah. I have a little label printer at home, and so everything is as automated as it can be here, as far as that goes. So yeah, I have my point of sale system has the ability to connect with my label printer, and then I print out my packing slip. And there was this one product that we sold over 100 kits of. And so each day we'd be going to the post office, like 20, 30 boxes. And who knew the post office had a shopping cart? So there's this shopping cart, we wheel it out to the car and put all the boxes into the shopping cart and then wheel them back into the post office. And the guy at the UPS store just sees me coming and he puts his head down. It's like, oh no, she's here again. And he's sending more stuff out. But, you know, I mean, at the beginning of COVID, I was masked and gloved and, you know, I was covered in everything. But I wasn't going to let my customers down. I was delivering yarn to the people, just like I always said I was going to do. And we continue to do that.
Christine says, a sense of normalcy. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Sebastian says, God forbid a customer ever feels like they're bothering us. Oh my God. We see this and we hear about this all the time. He says, I drive 12 hours to see you guys. And Christine says, it's an outing. Yeah, absolutely.
It is an outing.
And Christine says, sale? Well, we don't really, I mean, we have some stuff on sale, but we really focus more on the customer service than the sale. I mean, you offer promotional stuff, but it's not like
I mean, but I do have some items that go on sale if a product doesn't move as, you know, the way I would like to see it move. And hey, we all make some faux pas when we're buying inventory. And so, yeah, I run a sale. What'll happen is, you know, I do what I call a rapid raffle when I do my online show, and I have a final few of something, and I'll just hold them up and say, okay, I got 3 in this color and 3 in that color, and right now, and you know, I'll take 30% off for the next 5 minutes. If you see something you like, just put the color in and your name, and I'll send you an invoice. I do offer special pricing on my website, so you'll see that ad on the kit. So I put together a lot of kits. I don't sell yarn by the skein as much, and they're there. But rather than doing that, I help people get what I call beyond the skein, because it's easy to buy yarn and not know what to do with it. So I create kits for them and put together different color combinations and patterns that work well together. And so then they buy those kits. The kits do sometimes go on sale, and those are offered on the website, but I don't have a sales section on my website. I give everyone the full experience of everything that I have. And if they run across a sale item, good for them, and they want to buy it, that's perfect.
And the customer service piece is guiding them through the process, right? You easily sell them just yarn, but when you paint the picture, so on our show, Paulette models the item.
I don't know if you can see this.
She turns around, she models a particular item. We have mannequins that have items, you know, samples and things like that. And we show in full detail. I work that camera within inches of every garment, so they see exactly what's available, and they buy the kit. They don't buy the yarn, they buy the kit and they buy the experience, because we've guided them through the process. Anybody can just put yarn up, right? Anybody can do that. You can go to, you know, some of these hobby stores and
any big box store, any big box crafting store has yarn for sale.
But show them, paint the picture, right? It's like when you're selling a car and you're on that test drive. Where's the first place you're going in your new car? Now the customers, as they're driving, they're envisioning their first road trip in their new car. They haven't even bought it yet, but they've taken mental possession of it. They've taken ownership of it to want that car. And it's the same thing that we do. We offer that customer service experience. And people that are contacting a dealership, they have the money and they want to buy. They've already done the research. So if you create that customer experience for them, they'll buy it. It's really pretty simple. Christine says, just like eBay, the chime sound. She says, good to know. And Steve says, customer experience is today's battlefield, where business is earned, retained, or lost.
That's
Customers
right.
are expecting from you or someone else to deliver it. The customer will make their vote accordingly. Absolutely. Ron Usher says, thank you, Paul and Paulette. Cool show. And Christine says, this is a great model, the kit.
Thank you.
Let's see. So I think we've gone over a little bit. But hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I think it was a really good show. I think so because it's my show, but it's more importantly that you guys think so. You know, we get validation from the customers that we see engage in our content online. Today earlier, Paulette showed me a comment from somebody that's in Southeast Asia. I mean, we're reaching all over the place. And you're at a car dealership, you can reach all over the place also. 20 years ago, I was shipping cars overseas and across the country, 20 years ago. So it's not something new. Create that wow experience and the people will come to you. People have no problem wiring you money to have you ship them product. Robert says we could sell accessories that way. Teach it, Paulette. Because it's it's like tires. At the end of the day, it's not the tires, it's the experience. And I'm going to play a short video for you here. So it's all about the experience. So thank you very much. Any other questions before we call it a night? Like I said, we did go over a little bit. Christine says, thanks, good job. Appreciate it. We appreciate everybody tuning in. If you see value in this, please share this with your friends, and we'll see you. Thank you, Paulette, for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. It was great to chat with you all.
And we'll see you next Sunday on Sunday Night Live.